What's going on, everybody? My name is Mariah Bailey, and if you're watching this video right now, it's likely because you just got done doing a workout, which is fabulous. I love my athletes, I love working with athletes, but remember, you're only as strong or as good or as fast as your body's ability to recover. So we're gonna take the next 15 minutes or so, we're gonna lengthen out those muscles, we're gonna allow energy to move a little bit better through your body, and ultimately allow you to become a more well-rounded athlete, human being, become stronger. So go ahead and grab your mat and let's get started. So we're actually going to start today in our downward facing dog. So just go ahead and place both hands down. Bring your big toes together, touching. And as you hold your downward dog here, just rotate your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Press through the palms of your hands. Let your head hang. Let your belly relax. Keep in mind that our breath is one of the most vital parts to recovery. We've got to get oxygen flowing through the muscles. So through each one of these movements, I want you to stay with that long, deep Ujjayi breath. So just go ahead and start that breathing. Feel that breath draw all the way down to the upper belly. Feel the stretch through the hamstrings and the Achilles heel. And now just start to walk your heels out one at a time. Keep the sit bones rotated up towards the ceiling so we keep the stretch through the back of the legs. And now just bring your heels back together, lower your knees down, send your hips back, come into child's pose, rest your forehead down, stay with that breath. So we're starting to stretch through the back body now. Keep the arms active and the palms pressing down so you get the good stretch all the way through your arms. Nice deep breaths. And now come back up onto your hands and knees. We're gonna walk the knees a little bit wider than the hips. Keep the big toes together touching. And just send your hips back. This variation of your child's pose, just getting a little bit deeper into the hips. So the hips tend to tighten up, one of the tightest places we have after a workout. So crucial for us to keep the hips open, even if you're doing an upper body workout. Hip mobility, as most of you guys know, especially the athletes, so important and energetically important. We have a lot of energy that moves through the hip area. Stay with your breath. And now just lift your hips back up, tuck your toes under. We're going to come back into this downward facing dog. And then from here, you're just going to walk your feet up to your hands. We're going to keep the feet about hip distance apart. Keep your fingertips down. Inhale, look forward. So just lift the chest, but keep the fingertips down. Feel the stretch in the glutes and the hamstrings. Exhale, fold back down. We're gonna walk our hands underneath of our feet, bringing our toes to our wrist creases. Let the head hang, let the belly relax, let the spine traction. So you probably definitely feel this in your hamstrings, but if the head is relaxed and the belly is relaxed, you'll feel the pull from the very center of the top of your head, which is stretching your lower, middle, and upper back. Keep your hands where they are. Inhale, just look forward. As you exhale, release your hands, place your hands flat. We're gonna step back into your plank and then send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take another deep inhale in, exhale, just lower both knees down onto your mat. We're gonna keep the toes tucked under now, and then just walk your hips back onto your heels. Keep that nice straight spine. Keep pulling the heels in towards each other. So we're stretching through that plantar fascia of the feet. And a lot of yogis say this is one of the most important stretches you can do because we're on our feet so often. And there's more muscles in our feet than there are in the rest of our body combined. So really feel this stretch. And if at any time it feels comfortable, just take a break. Come off the heels and then sit back down on the heels. But we're gonna be here for a second. If you feel the heels separating, keep pulling them together.
Send the breath all the way down to the feet. Oxygenate the entire system. And now from here, just make your way back up onto your hands and knees. You're gonna untuck your toes and just sit flat on your heels. We'll give our toes a little bit of a break here and then kind of stretch the top part of our feet as well. And now gently just make your way back onto your hands and knees. We're gonna do a little bit of a wrist stretch here. So I want you to turn your fingertips towards your knees. Keep your pinky fingers together, touching. So you've got two options here. You can either work on bending the elbows to stretch the wrists, or you can work on sending the hips back to stretch the wrists a little bit deeper. Whatever works for you, I'm gonna bend the elbows. So especially if you've been lifting weights, this stretch is really, really important. It gets that energy and blood flow through our wrists. This is often an area of the body that's ignored, so continue to really go deep here, as deep as you can for you. Nice, deep breaths. And now just come back up. We're gonna rotate those wrists around. So you're gonna place the back of your hand down, bring your thumbs together touching. Put some pressure on the back part of your wrists here. And then just begin to send your hips back. Kind of getting a stretch through the other side of the wrists now. And inhale, just come back up. Release your hands. We're gonna place your hands flat, tuck your toes under, come back into a downward facing dog. So our downward dog isn't just a stretch for our hamstrings. If you rotate the outside edges of your armpits in towards you, so rotating this area of the armpit in towards you, it's also gonna help you loosen up the neck and find room in the neck. So nice deep breaths. Keep rotating the two bones you sit on up towards the ceiling. The more you do that, the deeper the stretch. You'll start to feel it more in the calves and even the Achilles. And now just lower your knees back down. We're gonna pull our heels apart now. Keep your big toes turned in towards each other, but allow the heels to come wider than the hips. You're just gonna walk your hips back. Sit down between your heels. Keep pulling your big toes in towards each other. Pull the skin out from underneath of your knees. So you might not be all the way down, and that's fine. If you have another mat or maybe something, a small foam roller, you can put it underneath of your knees here to make it easier, but otherwise you can just come maybe halfway down. Maybe you make it all the way down. Just be wherever you need to be. And if there's ever too much tension in the knees at any time, just back out of it. Take child's pose. Some of you might feel this in the tops of your ankles and your feet. Good, and then from here, I want you to step back out into your tabletop position. This time we're gonna keep the knees together, and I want you to just cross your right leg behind your left, your right knee behind your left, and pull your heels apart. Sitting back between your heels. So this Gomukhasana, as we call it in yoga, is a great stretch for the hips. Again, you might be only right here. Just be wherever you need to be for you, wherever you can feel the stretch in the hips without any pain in the hips is a great place to be. So just maybe closing your eyes, coming back to re-engaging into that breath. If it's available for you, you can go ahead and hinge your hips forward. Just make sure that you pull the center of the top of your head forward. You don't want the chin to lift. We have a slight curve in our neck, but we don't want to over-exaggerate that. So just keep lengthening the spine. And now just make your way back up. We're going to take a break before we go to the other side. Come back onto your hands and knees. We're gonna unwind your knees, again, bringing your knees about hip distance apart. This time we're just gonna walk the hands out, getting that nice stretch in the shoulders. This is our puppy pose. So my hips stay where they are. My hands are just walking out in front of me. So you can stay here if you'd like, otherwise walk your hands together. Bring your palms together in a prayer behind your head. This is such a great stretch for everything from the rotator cuffs to the pectoral muscles. And now just lower those hands down if you had them lifted. Walk your hands back up underneath of you. Walk your knees back together and then just cross that left knee behind your right. Pull your heels apart. Send your hips back, coming into your Gomukhasana now on your left side. You can use your hands to help you stack your knees deeper. Stay here if you'd like. Otherwise, just hinge from the hips, fold forward. See if you can feel that breath draw to the upper belly, knowing that you're sending oxygen all the way through, helping heal, helping repair. And now inhale, just come back up. As you exhale, we're gonna walk your hands out into plank. And then from here, we're gonna lower all the way down. We're gonna get in a shoulder stretch right now. We're gonna extend that right arm out to the side, press through that left hand, roll out over that right shoulder. Nice deep breaths. Maybe that left foot comes all the way around and places behind you. Maybe it doesn't. And now just roll back down onto your stomach. Place that right hand flat, extend that left arm out, roll out onto that left shoulder. Maybe that right foot comes around and you can place that right foot flat. Nice deep breaths. And now from here, just roll yourself back down, place your hands flat. Send your hips back, child's pose, and breathe. And then from here, go ahead and make your way onto your hands and knees. We're gonna make our way all the way down now, just extending your legs out in front of you. We're gonna lay down onto your mat, onto the floor, wherever you are, and we're gonna hug that right knee in towards your chest. So try not to let that knee come out to your right side. Keep that right knee in towards your center line. Breathe. Now from here, keep your right hand gripping that knee. We're just gonna open the knee up, out to the side. Use your left hand as leverage. Inhale, that right knee comes back up. This time we're gonna switch. We're gonna grab a hold of our right knee with our left hand. Our right arm extends out to the side. We're gonna roll that knee all the way around. See if you can turn your head to the right. And now just lift that knee back up. Spinal twists are so important. We often don't get deep enough in the spine to allow some of those muscles to stretch. So that was a great spinal twist there. Go ahead and release that right leg. Extend that right leg all the way out in front of you. Bend that left knee and go ahead and pull that left knee in towards you. Keep bringing it towards the center line. And now just keep a hold of that left knee with your left hand. Extend your right arm out by your side. Just begin to open that left knee up, stretching through the groins. And inhale, lift that knee back up. Switch hands. Grab a hold of that left knee with your right hand. Pull that left knee all the way around. Extend that left arm out by your side. Turn your head to the left as you lower that knee to the right. Spinal twist here to the left. I guess to the right, depending on how you're looking at it. And inhale, just lift that knee back up. We're gonna hug both knees into your chest for the last thing here. Just take a deep inhale in Exhale, bring your forehead towards your knees. Inhale, your head and shoulders come back down. Exhale, forehead towards your knees. Inhale, your head and shoulders come back down. One more time, just take a deep inhale in. Exhale, bring your forehead towards your knees. Relax your head back down. Extend both legs straight up into the air with your palms facing down, arms by your side. And for the last move of this sequence, this series that we're doing here, we're gonna just send our toes back behind your head, coming into your plow pose. You can rest your hands on your lower back and really rotate the sit bones up towards the ceiling. Plow pose will stretch anything from the Achilles tendon all the way to the base of the skull. So take full advantage of the last posture we're doing here. And now from here, just very gently release your hands, lower your hands down, roll your hips down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Place your feet flat. And as always, I always recommend that we take a Shavasana or a rest at the end of any of our practices. So go ahead and just place your left hand on your heart, your right hand at your belly button. I'm going to just sort of leave this part up to you. Maybe just do a quick scan of your body, see where you might still be holding on to tension. And just trust and know that doing this part of your practice, the short 15 minutes that we're doing, is absolutely crucial to your recovery. So thank you for joining me today. Stay here as long as you'd like.